My name is Dr. Allison Nierenberg, and I am a clinical psychologist. Sex addiction is out of control sexual behavior, and it looks different with all different types of women. But it basically is behaviors that a person can't stop, wants to stop but can't.
What's really happening is she's setting herself up to get used. She's setting herself up to be an object for this man and treating the man like an object herself.
My approach in treating sex addiction is I want to be respectful of these women. However, I need to be direct. So if I feel like someone's doing a behavior that's really dangerous for herself, it's really my job to call her out on it.
It's not okay to want a relationship. I feel sad that here you are as this really interesting, nice girl who doesn't feel good enough or doesn't feel lovable.
Women who are sex addicts are great at compartmentalizing. They could really be good at their jobs, they could work hard, and they could be really successful in one area, but then have this whole out-of-control other side.
When a woman has a secret relationship, there's a rush, a sense of high, when the woman feels like she has a whole secret life going on.
One of the common themes is power. So these are women who have had issues that they didn't feel like they were powerful in other areas of their life.
Addictions thrive in secrecy. So the more you keep this a secret, the less you'll be able to heal.
A lot of times it's really taking the time to use common sense and listen to the other person and pick up on some of the clues. Generally, when you meet somebody, they're going to put on a good face. Right. They're going to try and impress you. But you have to really watch their actions. And are their actions and their words matching up? Do they tell you you're the most important woman in the world, but then take you to a party and ignore you for the whole night? You'd also realize when you're dating a person, if the person doesn't ask you any questions about yourself, if they're just talking and don't take the time to ask about your interests, about what's important to you, you don't feel like they really value you as a person. Yeah. One of the components of a fling is that the sex is very intense and it happens pretty quickly, and you don't feel like the person really is taking the time to value who you are. It's more about what you are doing for the person. Yeah. If the person is spending time with people who are very materialistic or shallow, generally the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. You have to really trust your instincts, trust your gut. Do you feel yourself when you're with this person? Do you feel like the person is really listening to you and they're valuing you? Or do you feel like the person is putting you down? People generally don't like to talk about expectations. They feel like it's going to make them look too needy, or it's not romantic to talk about expectations. But I think it's really important. I believe we teach people how to treat us. If somebody can't be themselves and either is unhealthy and is using drugs or alcohol, that's not a good sign. Nowadays, technology comes into play. You're going to see the person maybe text messaging other women, or if you check the person's cell phone, you'll see a lot of different numbers that pop up. These are signs that the person is being deceitful.
Sleeping in separate beds is bad for a marriage. I think one of the things that makes our relationships, our marital relationships, so important and special is that sleeping in the same bed is a way of connecting. And when you sleep in separate beds, it's a way of making your relationship just like every other relationship in your life. Why not just be roommates? I think a lot of times people just use excuses. They want to sleep in separate beds because they have anger towards the other partner and resentments, and they figure it's better to sleep in separate beds and not connect, and they may blame it on the snoring or blame it on other issues. My opinion is that in our culture we're all so separate. One person could be looking at emails, the other person could be on the BlackBerry, and I think coming together in a bed is such a nice way of connecting at the end of the day and not letting yourself be separated by your busy life.
Clinical psychologist, and you deal with eating disorders.
People think to lose 21 pounds or 20 pounds in 21 days, it sounds easy and quick. But in reality, you're having a lot of medical risks in doing a diet like that. There's so much pressure on celebrities to look perfect and to be a size 0. And the rest of us have embraced that. There's really no shortcuts, although we all wish there was.
We're enabling our children to be entitled. The more that you don't cover up your daughter's behavior, the more that you are part of the problem, not part of the solution. It's our job as parents to set limits and to say no. And this was a very extreme example of this. It's such an enabling behavior that basically says as long as she goes to school and it looks good on paper, then we're okay. I wonder what happens when she gets to school. Does she actually have to kill somebody for there to be consequences?
a new PSA preaching the dangers of date rape.
I think they're trying to get attention through shock value, and they're thinking that this is going to get attention. However, it's really about blaming a woman for drinking too much. Victims of abuse often carry a lot of shame and self-hatred and blame, and a message like this could be even more damaging.